Top 3 drinks that quietly damage your kidneys after 60, and most people are drinking at least one of them every single day. Most people think kidney damage comes from something extreme, some rare disease, or years of bad luck. But for a lot of seniors, it's something much simpler. It's sitting in their fridge right now. And the scary part is, these drinks don't taste harmful at all. Some of them are even marketed as healthy. Today we're talking about the top 3 drinks that can quietly stress your kidneys over time. And one of them might surprise you because it's something almost everyone drinks without a second thought. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which drinks to watch out for, why they affect your kidneys the way they do, and what you can swap them for instead. Before continuing, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any simple but extremely useful videos for your health. And if you have any questions or concerns about your kidneys or your body, feel free to leave a comment below. I will read and answer you. Number 1. Dark colas. If you're someone who enjoys a cold soda with lunch or dinner, this one's important. Dark colas, the kind with caramel coloring, are one of the biggest hidden threats to kidney health, and most people have no idea why. You'd think the sugar is the only problem, but there's something else going on here that makes dark colas particularly rough on your kidneys. The real issue is phosphoric acid. Dark colas are loaded with it, and phosphoric acid is used to give these drinks their sharp, tangy taste. But your kidneys are the organs responsible for filtering excess phosphorus out of your blood. When you're constantly feeding your body more phosphorus than it needs, your kidneys have to work overtime to keep your blood levels balanced. Over years, that extra workload can contribute to declining kidney function, especially in people who already have reduced kidney capacity, which becomes more common as we age. Research has linked regular cola consumption, especially 2 or more servings a day, to a higher risk of chronic kidney disease in long-term studies. One widely cited study followed thousands of adults over several years and found that those drinking multiple colas daily had a noticeably higher rate of kidney decline compared to those who avoided them. And it's not just the phosphoric acid. Dark colas are also high in sugar, and high sugar intake is linked to insulin resistance, which puts additional stress on your kidneys over time. The combination of sugar and phosphoric acid is part of why dark colas in particular, more than clear sodas, tend to show the strongest associations with kidney issues in research. There's another layer to this that most people never hear about. Phosphorus doesn't just affect your kidneys directly, it also interferes with how your body absorbs calcium. When phosphorus levels run consistently high, your body starts pulling calcium from your bones to try to keep things balanced in your blood. Over years, this can contribute to weaker bones at the exact same time your kidneys are struggling to filter out the excess. So you've potentially got 2 problems compounding each other from the same habit, and neither one announces itself with obvious symptoms until the damage has already been building for a while. This is part of why doctors who pay close attention to kidney health often ask about soda consumption specifically, even when someone comes in with no obvious kidney complaints. It's one of those slow, silent contributors that doesn't show up on a routine blood test until it's already progressed. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up the fizzy, refreshing feeling completely. If you're craving something bubbly, try sparkling water with a splash of real fruit juice instead. You get the carbonation without the phosphoric acid or the sugar overload. Another option a lot of people enjoy is sparkling water with a few crushed berries and a sprig of mint, which gives you natural sweetness and a bit of visual appeal without anything synthetic. And if you really want the cola flavor occasionally, treat it as an occasional treat rather than a daily habit, maybe once a week instead of once a day. Some people also find that swapping to clear sodas, while not perfect, at least removes the phosphoric acid component, even though the sugar concern remains, so it's a smaller step in the right direction if you're not ready to cut soda out completely. The bottom line on dark colas: they're convenient, they're everywhere, and they taste great. But the phosphoric acid and sugar combination makes them one of the more quietly damaging drinks for long-term kidney health, especially after 60 when kidney function naturally starts to decline. Number 2, energy drinks. This one catches a lot of people off guard because energy drinks are often marketed with words like vitamin-packed or natural caffeine, which makes them sound almost healthy. But when it comes to your kidneys, energy drinks are one of the more concerning options on grocery store shelves. The first issue is the caffeine content. Energy drinks typically pack 2 to 3 times more caffeine than a regular cup of coffee, sometimes more. High doses of caffeine cause your blood vessels to constrict, including the ones that supply your kidneys. When blood flow to your kidneys drops even temporarily, it puts stress on the filtering process. For someone with already reduced kidney function, which becomes increasingly common after 60, that stress adds up. But caffeine isn't the only concern. Energy drinks are also typically loaded with sugar, sometimes more than 50 grams in a single can, or they use artificial sweeteners that have their own set of concerns. High sugar intake over time has been linked to kidney stress and increased risk of kidney stones, similar to the issue we see with sugary sodas. There's also the taurine and other stimulant additives found in many energy drinks. While taurine in small amounts is naturally found in the body, the combined effect of high caffeine, high sugar, and added stimulants creates a much bigger burden on your kidneys than any one ingredient alone. Case reports in medical literature have documented instances of acute kidney injury linked to excessive energy drink consumption, particularly in people who combine heavy use with dehydration or existing health conditions. While these are extreme cases, they highlight how much stress these drinks can put on your kidneys when consumed regularly. There's also a dehydration angle that doesn't get talked about enough. Many energy drinks have a mild diuretic effect because of the caffeine content, which means they can actually pull water out of your system at the same time you're drinking them, the opposite of what you'd want when you're trying to support kidney function. This becomes especially relevant for people over 60, since the sense of thirst naturally becomes less reliable with age, meaning many seniors are already running slightly dehydrated without realizing it, even before an energy drink enters the picture. Combine a mild diuretic effect with blood vessels that are already constricting from caffeine, and you've created exactly the kind of environment where kidney stress can build quietly over time. If you need an energy boost, there are gentler options. A cup of green tea gives you a moderate amount of caffeine along with antioxidants, without the sugar crash or the kidney stress. Or try a glass of water with a slice of fresh ginger, which can help with alertness and digestion without any of the downsides. Some people also find that a short walk outside, even 5 or 10 minutes, does more for genuine energy than another caffeinated drink, since movement increases blood flow and oxygen delivery throughout the body, including to the kidneys, rather than constricting it. If you're someone who relies on energy drinks specifically because of a busy schedule or physically demanding day, try easing off gradually rather than quitting outright, since sudden caffeine withdrawal can cause its own short-term issues like headaches and fatigue. The bottom line on energy drinks: the combination of high caffeine, high sugar, and added stimulants makes them one of the harder drinks on your kidneys, especially if you're reaching for them daily instead of occasionally. Number 3, excessive fruit juice. Before we get into this one, if you're finding this helpful so far, make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment letting me know which of these drinks you didn't expect to see on this list. It genuinely helps me know what to cover next. This one might be the most surprising because fruit juice has a health halo around it. It's fruit, right? How bad can it be? But here's the truth. Most store-bought fruit juices, even the ones labeled 100% juice, are concentrated sugar with very little of the fiber that would normally slow down sugar absorption in whole fruit. When you drink a glass of apple juice or grape juice, you're getting all the sugar of several pieces of fruit in one sitting, without the fiber that helps your body process it slowly. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, and over time, frequent blood sugar spikes are linked to insulin resistance, which is one of the leading contributors to kidney damage in adults over 60. Your kidneys contain millions of tiny blood vessels that are extremely sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly over months and years, those blood vessels can become damaged, reducing your kidney's ability to filter waste properly. This is actually one of the primary mechanisms behind diabetic kidney disease, and you don't need to have diabetes for the underlying blood vessel stress to start happening. There's also the oxalate content in certain juices, particularly cranberry and grape juice, which in high amounts can contribute to kidney stone formation in people who are prone to them. A study following adult beverage habits found that those who drank fruit juice daily, rather than eating whole fruit, had a measurably higher rate of metabolic markers associated with kidney stress compared to those who ate fruit in its whole form. What makes this especially tricky is portion size. A typical glass of orange juice, around 8 ounces, can contain the sugar from 3 to 4 oranges, Almost nobody would sit down and eat 4 whole oranges in one sitting, but drinking that same amount of sugar in juice form takes less than a minute and doesn't feel like very much at all. This mismatch between how much sugar you're consuming and how full or satisfied you feel afterward is part of why juice can be so easy to overconsume without realizing it. The fix here isn't to stop eating fruit, it's the opposite. Eat the whole fruit instead of drinking the juice. An orange gives you the same vitamin C as a glass of orange juice, but with the fiber that slows sugar absorption and keeps your blood sugar stable. If you do want fruit juice occasionally, dilute it with water, roughly half juice, half water, and stick to small servings, around 4 ounces, rather than a full glass. Pairing a small amount of juice with a source of protein or fat, like a handful of almonds, can also help slow down how quickly that sugar hits your bloodstream, similar to the strategy we'll talk about with other foods. Another option some people enjoy is making your own infused water with fruit slices left whole or lightly crushed rather than juiced, which gives you a hint of natural flavor without the concentrated sugar load. The bottom line on fruit juice: it feels healthy, but the concentrated sugar without fiber makes it one of the sneakier drinks that can stress your kidneys over time, especially if it's replacing whole fruit in your daily diet rather than complementing it. Number 4, sports drinks. These are easy to overlook because they're marketed specifically around hydration and recovery, which makes them feel like the responsible choice, especially for older adults who are told repeatedly how important staying hydrated is. But most popular sports drinks were designed for athletes sweating heavily for hours at a time, not for someone taking a casual walk or simply trying to stay hydrated through a normal day. The sugar content in many sports drinks is comparable to soda, often 20 to 30 grams per bottle, but it's wrapped in language about electrolytes and performance that makes it feel like a health product rather than a sugary beverage. Beyond the sugar, sports drinks are also engineered with high sodium and potassium levels to replace what's lost through heavy sweating. For someone who isn't sweating at that level, regularly consuming those elevated electrolyte amounts can create an imbalance that your kidneys then have to work to correct. This is particularly relevant for adults over 60 who may already be managing blood pressure with sodium restrictions, since many sports drinks contain more sodium than people realize, sometimes 150 milligrams or more per bottle. A review of common sports drink formulations found that regular, non-athletic consumption was associated with higher markers of kidney strain in adults, particularly when combined with already reduced kidney function, which becomes more common with age. The irony here is that something marketed entirely around hydration and health can end up working against the very kidney function it implies it's supporting. If you're exercising lightly to moderately, plain water is almost always sufficient for hydration. If you are doing something more strenuous, like an hour of vigorous activity in the heat, a diluted version of a sports drink, mixed half with water, or a homemade alternative using water, a pinch of salt, and a splash of citrus juice, can provide similar benefits with far less sugar and a more reasonable sodium load. The bottom line on sports drinks: they're designed for a level of physical exertion most people aren't actually reaching, and the sugar and sodium load can quietly work against kidney health rather than support it. So when you step back and look at everything we covered, it all comes down to this. Dark colas hit your kidneys with phosphoric acid and sugar working together, while also pulling calcium from your bones at the same time. Energy drinks combine high caffeine, sugar, and stimulants into one heavy load, made worse by a mild dehydrating effect. Fruit juice sneaks in concentrated sugar without the fiber that would normally protect you, often in portion sizes most people would never eat in whole fruit form. And sports drinks carry a health halo from their marketing that doesn't match how most people are actually using them day to day. None of these drinks need to be eliminated completely overnight, but being aware of how often you're reaching for them is the first step. Swap them out gradually. Sparkling water instead of cola, green tea instead of energy drinks, whole fruit instead of juice, plain water instead of sports drinks, unless you're truly exercising hard enough to need them. These small, consistent swaps add up over months and years, and your kidneys will have a much easier time doing their job. You don't need an extreme detox or a complicated diet plan. Just paying attention to what's in your glass every day and asking yourself honestly whether a drink is actually serving your health or just marketed to look like it is is one of the simplest things you can do to protect your kidney health long term. Your kidneys quietly do an enormous amount of work for you every single day without ever asking for recognition. And small daily choices like these are one of the easiest ways to return the favor.